I want to pass on the things that I have to the generations behind me. By the time it's time for me to get called home and go to the grave, I want to be empty. I believe in bankrupting the cemetery, so I can't take this knowledge with me because the cemetery is already full of brilliant ideas and unwritten books and innovative ideas. I can't take this with me, so I'm trying to leave it all here as Billy Graham Jr. to the next generation so somebody else can carry it on.
And we are back. And man, oh man, I must say, first of all, I have missed y'all so much. And I have just been boiling over just mentally, physically, just like I need to get back. I can't wait to share the information that I have learned. Because I feel like the only way that you can get better is if we learn from others. Man, I promise you, the individual, the young lady that I have tonight. Now, you've seen her before. If you haven't, then you make sure you like, subscribe to this channel, make sure you share, and go back and watch episode 38 of Purpose Driven so you can get to know all about her and see where she started, learn where she comes from, and why we got to where we are today. Because, man, the information that she's about to give us today is not only going to help you, but it's just mind-blowing. So I'm not gonna spill the tea. I'm not gonna let the cat out the bag. I'm gonna let you hear from this wonderful individual for yourself. So I bring you the one, the only, Miss Shaundra Woods-Straughter.
Hey, Billy.
Hey, welcome back.
How's it going?
Man, I'm blessed and highly favored. Couldn't ask for more.
Sounds good.
Now. I want to jump straight in, but before I do that, let's do a quick recap. Can you tell all the amazing fans that are here to talk and listen to you, who is Shaundra Woods-Straughter?
Who is Shaundra Woods-Straughter? Okay, you all, I am an educator. I've been doing that for quite some time now. I have a background in marketing, but most of all, I have a family. I'm a mom, a wife, and I just enjoy helping other people as a certified life coach.
Man, now, last time you were here, you told us how you transitioned from the teacher side and turned that teacher into doing marketing, and you brought them all together so that you can help people and teach them not just through teaching and marketing, but how to combine them and make their lives better, which led to you, as we know, becoming the founder of the Faith Stir.
Mm-hmm.
So can you recap one more time? What made you found the Faith Store? Where did that come from? What was that idea? What was that fire that was lit under you that said, I'm leaving this because this is my purpose. This is what I need to do?
Yeah, so I initially started out as a blogger. And then I noticed that there were certain things that I was blogging about, certain themes, topics that seemed to pick up more traction than others. And I was like, okay, people really like digging in deeper with their faith. And relating their everyday life to their walk with Christ or just what they believe when it comes down to their religious beliefs. So I chose to kind of just couple everything I've learned from the marketing field, from education, which I've actually grown a lot more in those areas since the last time you and I have spoken. I've gone as far as learning how to, build modules and just really captivate what's needed in order to take someone on a true journey. So I have just coupled all of these gifts and talents that God has given me and placed it at the feet of my consumers, my targeted audience, women that are busy, women that are constantly moving, that sometimes need a push. Strong women need strong women.
Yes, I do agree, because it's funny you say that, because me and my wife talk about this all the time. Like, you see the cross back and forth through social media today.
Yeah.
And I see so many times where it's men talking to women and women talking to men. And I'm telling my wife, I'm like, I don't think we get it. Like, you can talk across all you want to, but it takes the men to talk to the men to hold the men accountable. Like, don't get me wrong, women can throw all the advice and all that. But at the end of the day, a woman doesn't know how to be a man and a man doesn't know how to be a woman. And it takes those strong individuals as a woman to talk to a woman. Man, this is just my belief. Everybody else can believe what they want.
Okay, good.
But it takes you, because it's like me. I was in the military.
Mm-hmm.
It's only so much advice that somebody that says is a swim coach can give me about the military. You haven't walked those shoes.
Right.
And so I'm not saying that you can't get nuggets from anywhere. You can get them from everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, that blog, because we hear people all the time talking about narrow down your niche. And when you're talking about women to women and you say you heard certain things in the blog, what were those highlights in that blog that you were getting that said, this is what people need help with? And then it narrowed down more and like, oh no, this is what the women in my community need. Like how did that process go? Because remember I told you, we crossed back and forth.
Yeah.
But how does somebody narrow down and say, I know you're over there and I'm going to help you, but let me help this group first so we can all come together as one?
I think the thing is, like you said, narrowing down. You can start out in a place where you're really broad, and you do want to help everybody. For somebody that's a servant leader, you just feel like, ooh, I just want to help everyone. I just want everybody to reach their goals. I want everybody to just conquer their dreams and see their life as they've written it down. Yeah, you're gonna wear yourself out. You're gonna wear yourself out. You're gonna feel defeated. You're gonna feel like there's not enough time in the day. But once you really see what's attracting people, what's causing people to be a magnet to what it is that you're putting out, that's when you can start saying, wait a minute. Okay, they seem to have liked that piece of it. Let me see if I play around with this topic over here a little bit more. Let me see if that's going to cause them to interact a little bit more. And as you begin to really test the market based off of what your messages are, that can help you to determine exactly who your audience really is, like who you are truly speaking to. For me, I'm always like, oh, I want women. But if I go back and I look at the number of people that's following me, their ages, it's not who I thought it would have been. I thought it would have been like younger women because I'm looking at myself. And then I'm like, man, I got people that's like 55 and I got people that are 65. Why are they following me? I'm much younger than them. But apparently they're at a point in their lives where maybe they're reflecting on some things. And it's like, okay, you get to that place where it's like, man, I wish I knew now or knew then what I knew now. And I would go back and change some things. And because they know they can't, I think they're just trying to correct some things in the moment.
Yes.
What time they have left to just enjoy life.
Yes. I love that you said that but okay, let me give you my backstory because most people don't even get this, but
okay.
your backstory of what you just said, like when people say, hey, you're doing the podcast Purpose Driven, what was that all about? And it was like how you said, that servant leader, my mom, my parents, my wife, my family, dad, they groomed me into that part, and it became over time from God and everything, that servant leader. And I was trying to help everybody. Like, this isn't working. And then as I met certain people like you, and I was like, hey, these people are amazing at what they do. They're smart. And I was like, that started that thing, Purpose Driven, because y'all are driven by a purpose. And I'm like, those people need to talk to these people, because I thought like you, my audience would be like, oh, this group of people. Then I looked up and I'm like, no, my audience ranges in age from, like, I'm talking about, I got older teenagers all the way to those 65 and 70, and it's men and women. And I'm like, what is going on? As I dove deeper, I'm like, oh, they're all entrepreneurs. These are the people that I didn't even think about it or know it. It's the ones that are in the 9-to-5, that are trying to leave the 9-to-5, or the people that are trying to start their life, or somebody that's gotten to the end, they might be retired and they're like, I want that next venture. And I was like, well, I can give you tidbits, but I only know so much. So I need to go bring in people like Shaundra that's like, hey, I'm a life coach. This is what I do, and this is how you do it. Or I have other people that I'm real estate, and I'm like, hey, y'all got to listen to them, because I don't know. My purpose became all of a sudden connecting everybody with the individuals that they need to meet on these different podcasts so that they can learn. I'm like, well, that's my purpose, because I can't teach you everything, but I got people like Shaundra who can.
I love that. I love that, Billy.
That which is crazy. I said that because it led me to the next thing, because I remember. You said, I'm starting to face stir.
Yeah.
And you said, I want to reach women. I want to reach these individuals and help them. Since we talked, and if everybody missed it, episode 38, it was around about 9 months ago or so. What has happened, and how has everything grown and blossomed and flourished over that time period?
Ooh, a lot has happened. I think initially when you and I got together, episode 38, as you keep saying, I love that you know the exact number. I've gotten together with a group of women. We've done an anthology. It's a women prayer book for entrepreneurs. Since then, I've led a couple of workshops. So we went from overcoming procrastination to let's get it done. And like you, I'm realizing the power of people and learning how to leverage other people in their strengths and not feel like I got to be the one bringing it all. So it has been an amazing journey, an amazing venture. I have something that's coming up now, August 23rd through the 25th. And yeah, Billy, I'm finally seeing everything that you and I know you kept saying, like, what do you got coming up next? And I'm like, you gotta wait for it. You gotta wait for it. Now I'm truly starting to see those things that I wanted to share, but knew it wasn't the time to share. Now is the time. Now the space is there. It's presented itself. And so the Faster has some amazing things that's coming out that we're bringing to the audience that we're hoping they like. But it's just been building. It's been building, learning from workshops, receiving that feedback, understanding what people want, understanding what they need, learning how to leverage other people in their strengths. That's most important. Like what you're doing with your podcast, allowing other people in their own right, their own education, their own know-how to come and say, this is how you buy a house. This is when you need to buy a house. This is why you need a life coach. This is the purpose for life coaching. Knowing it's okay if I don't know everything, but if I can connect you to the people that do, that makes my job even more purposeful, and it allows me to maximize in areas I would not have even been able to tap into.
Wow. Wow. I love how you speak on leveraging, because so many people don't understand how that works. Matter of fact, if you're one of those people out there that don't know how leveraging works, go get my book, The Gift Seeker, Living Your Purpose. We talk about leveraging in there. But before we even get any further, and I'll put that in the comments, you said something that I love to hear. You and a group of women came together and wrote a book. Mm-hmm. Can you please tell us more about that book and how we can go out there and get it? Because I was raised, I was in that generation that was always said, hey, if you want to hide something from people, put it in a book and they'll never know nothing about it. We want people to know about this because we want everybody to get better. So tell us a little bit about these books. If you want to, shout out these wonderful, amazing women that helped you with this book, because we want them to get their props too, and we want to branch out. Hell, I want to talk to them too when the time comes. So tell us about the book.
So we got to get Darlene Higgs Hollis on your show. She is a phenomenal life coach. I met her. I went through her program. That's how I became a life coach. And Darlene had this vision to get some women together. We were coming together for a week of prayer and just praying over businesses. And from there, she was like, man, everything that we kind of went from a devotional into the prayer piece. And she was like, everything that y'all have provided this entire week, it's a book. Like, this is a book. And so what we did was because we recorded those sessions, we went back, we went through our portions of it, got our prayers, really looked at the topics we talked about, and then we decided to dive in. So where can they get this book? They can get Women Entrepreneurs Prayer Book. I don't know if y'all can see this on Amazon. They can also go to thefaster.com to purchase. It's there for you. And we want you to have it. If you are a woman starting out in business, you're inspiring to have a business one day, you don't even know what to pray over your business, you don't know how to stay just grounded. Things happen in life, and some things can happen to be a distraction and to just take you away from the focus that you know you should truly be honing in on. This is the book for you. Like, sometimes even the authors in this book are just like, you know what? That chapter helped me. Like, I'm in the book and I'm having to go back and highlight some stuff and underline something because this is where I am in my life right now. So even though we were writing it to help other people, it's something we're using on a daily basis to cover our own businesses with where we are in lives. And these women are coming from all walks of life. Some have gone through domestic violence, abuse, just not being appreciated in the workforce, some leaving high-paying jobs to start businesses on their own, so they know what it feels like to start from scratch. to start without an audience. And so they know the prayers to pray to get you through so that you can get up another day and get on the grind.
I, I love that because again, we're all big advocates on this show. You show me your network, I'll show you your network. And I love how you just showed that cover because I don't know if everybody caught it. It wasn't one woman, it wasn't two women, it
No,
wasn't three, it was a group.
it's a group.
So I say that because again, I'm trying not to tell my age, but when you were growing up, you always heard the saying, it takes a village, it takes a village, it takes a village. Somewhere along the line, we have gotten away from that. It takes a village. You hear people all the time, I did it by myself, I got it out the mud. And it's like, that's not how it's supposed to go. I'm glad it worked out for you.
Right.
But for the average everyday person walking this earth, living this life, you need a circle around you, and your circle tells you where you're going to go. If you got a circle that's not doing anything, guess what? You're not going to do anything. If you got a circle that prays together, guess what? You're going to pray together, you're going to stay together, and you're going to triumph. If you got a circle that's trying to get better in life, it's all about how you position yourself, and that position comes with your network. And I want to say this because I love how you said it was women in the book that left high-paying jobs. They're starting from the bottom, the ground up. We have this thing in us as people, that safety net, I guess you can say. Mm-hmm. We are scared to jump out there on faith. That's starting over. That's starting with nothing. Because get it, you start and you build throughout life, and you're like, I don't want to go back to that. By meeting those women, can you give us some stories, or maybe from your life, what is that feeling for that person that is scared to start over? What would you say to them? Because obviously you've met these individuals. It could be you, because they might be watching now. What would you say to them? Like, hey, it's time to start over. You might have to go this direction or this direction.
I think the thing is the fact that someone may even be contemplating starting over says that they probably need to. The fact that they're even entertaining that thought, and it's not just you. There is a higher being. I believe that there's a higher being, and it comes in a still small voice. And sometimes we think that we're entertaining our own thoughts when it's truly God directing our paths. He says the steps of a good man are ordered, right? Yep. So as we find ourselves truly wanting what God desires for our lives, sometimes he will take the foolish to confound the wise. Now, for me, it's not wise for me to leave a 6-figure job and start over. Like, that's crazy. But that's also God. That's also God. He tells us to do some crazy stuff. But in the end, when we do it, it benefits us. Our health gets better. We find a greater peace of mind. The things that we thought we needed, we realized, man, I ain't need that stuff. That stuff was just there occupying space, time, consuming me. So if you're thinking about it, more than likely, you probably do need to start over. And you need to connect yourself with people that are not going to judge you for starting over. That's another reason why we don't start over, because we're worried about what our family going to say, what our friends are going to say. What are people? They're going to think I've lost my mind. Let them think what they want to think. Because at the end of the day, if God is ordering you to something, it means there's greater. And it may not look like it in the beginning. It might not feel like it. You will be uncomfortable because you're going back to a space that I don't like this. I can live on a budget. What you talking about? I just spend my money the way I want. If he is redirecting you, it's going to be worth it in the end. It's going to be worth it.
Oh, I love how you said it's going to be worth it. But again, I have to play devil's advocate.
All right.
I'm sitting over here. I'm hearing everything you say.
Okay.
It's amazing. But for some reason, I haven't had a chance to come sit with you and your group of women. I haven't had a chance to catch one of your conferences. And I'm sitting there like, where I stay at, how do I go about and finding that circle that you're talking about? How do I find that network? How do I find that group of people? Because my family and friends and loved ones might be that judgmental and say, what are you doing? Why are you leaving? I'm listening to you. How do I even take the steps? What are the steps, if there are any, to even find those individuals I need to connect with?
I love how you like to put me on the spot, Billy. Only Billy. Let me just go on and say, only Billy can do this to me. All right. Nobody else think you can do this. So one of the women that I met, and it was by way of Darlene, and I don't know if she will ever know how appreciative I am of her, is a minister and also a life coach, prophetess Kenria Kelly. And I would not have ever met her if it was not for this anthology. And when I tell you, I've always looked for, I have a mentor now, much older than I am, my spiritual mom. She pours into my husband and I. She is really our sound and our voice of reason. But I've always prayed, God, let me be willing to hear other people outside of, because sometimes we have that one voice that we want to hear and we shut everybody else out. And that was me with my spiritual mom. And I was like, God, send somebody who I'm willing to hear that actually has more to give, more to pour into me. I have my spiritual mom, yes, but can you please send someone else that's going to activate these other areas of my life? So she has me moving and growing spiritually. Yeah. She has me understanding what it means to be a mom and a wife and to give. But God, I need someone from a business standpoint. I need someone that can show me how to see my visions, tap into my visions, use strategy, use my voice. There is power in your voice. Speaking of, everybody wants to talk about manifesting and speaking over yourself. You're activating faith. I don't know what people think they're doing. All you're doing is stepping into faith. Anytime you're speaking over your life and you're waking up every morning, looking in the mirror, decreeing and declaring who you are and what you should have, that's faith. So stepping outside of yourself. And one thing that Prophetess Kelly told me was that this one word, y'all, this one word, and it has changed things for me, is causing me to step outside of my comfort zone. Visibility. People do not know you exist.
Exactly.
You hide behind your family, your friends, what other people think about you. People will not have an opportunity to tap into you. There are people waiting right now looking for somebody to pour into, looking for somebody to give other resources to. We think because we've been hurt in the past by other people, because we're used to being around people that are selfish, that everybody's that way. I have found when you step outside of your tax bracket and you start entering into another world, into another lane, one that you probably have never been even invited into. When you put yourself out there, there are people that are like, oh, I got connections.
Yep.
Oh, you need what done? When you trying to get that done? Let me connect you with this person. Who your family connecting you to?
Ooh.
Who your friends connecting you to?
Ooh.
So if you're going to truly be bound, by these people that you honor so much and think so highly of, then be willing to live the same life that you see them living. But if you want more, you have to step outside of your comfort. This was not comfortable for me. I'm a loner. I like to work alone. So to get with a group of women, even in my job now, to get with other people, to work with other people, to let them see my vulnerable side and just really be transparent, that is uncomfortable, but it's needed. Because when you show them what's in you, you got to think about like a woman that's pregnant. They give us ultrasounds for a reason. They want to see what's going on the inside of us. Is everything growing the right way? Do we need to give you something that's going to help shift the baby? What do we need to be preparing for? We need people in our lives that can tap into our vision, that can tap into what we're not saying, to tap into actions that are contrary to what we're saying we're believing for, that can speak to our spirits and cause us to move forward. We have to be visible.
Ooh. Ooh.
That's number one. That's number one, Billy. Visibility. You got to show up.
Whoa. I don't know how you do this, but you be dropping the nuggets, and you just, because you talked about the emotions, you talked about it uncomfortable. I don't know. Let me just break it down, because I never want anybody to miss what, especially when people like Shaundra on this show. I don't want to miss you. She just gave you, and she stirred your emotions up a little bit. That's why it's called the faith stir. She just basically gave you the 4 stages of faith.
Come on now.
First, you're going to get the lesson. God is giving you the lesson. You heard it. You don't know your family, your friends, who they connecting you to. The lesson is, I need to learn from people that are in, how Shaundra said, that different tax bracket. Yeah. That doesn't necessarily mean money. That can be knowledge. That can be experience. That tax bracket is different. You got to go get that lesson. And then it's going to test you. That's when you're uncomfortable. No, I need you to go sit with a group of people and write this book. Oh, I'm gonna test you again. You think you sitting over there mad and sad and emotional? I need you out yourself. So he's gonna give you the lesson. Then they're going to test you to see if you're going to stick with them. And then that third part is the stressing. Remember, stick with me. Listen, testing, stressing. You're going to feel that stress. He's going to be stressing you all along the way because he want to make sure you keep the faith in him. To know that I taught you what you needed to know. I put you in the right circle. The stress that you feel, that's because I'm making you uncomfortable. I'm getting you out of your comfort zone. Because after you get the listen, the testing, and the stressing, then God's going to provide you with the blessing. The 4 stages of faith. Listen, testing, stressing, and when you've done everything you're supposed to do, he's going to bless you. As you see, Shaundra and her group of fans are already blessed. The network is blessed because now they are getting ready for a conference that I don't even think she knew she was even going to do 9 months ago when we first talked about this.
Not even.
So I want to know, the viewers want to know, how do you go from starting something, getting a network? We got that. We wrote the book. But how do you transition to say, hey, we need to do this for a country? Because remember, we're trying to connect with people and people are trying to figure out how to connect with you. So how do we even get to a conference?
Yeah, so there's actually 2 conferences that the book conference is the Gathering, and we normally host that in November. And you want to make sure that you are following the Faith Stir. You want to make sure that you are subscribing to get emails, because there's going to be an opportunity for women that are in business to receive coaching from quite a few of these women that have come together to write this book. And this coaching is worth over $50,000. Free coaching offered to you to help you in your business. So you want to make sure that you are following so that you get the opportunity to tap into some resources, to some women that have connections, so that you can see your business thrive. And if not your business, just your personal life. That's the first, because businesses can't even thrive if your personal life a wreck. Your business don't look like your personal life. So you want to make sure that you have women that are going to say, no, you don't want to do that. You want to know how to organize your time. You want to know how to put things on a calendar. You want to know how to automate stuff. So if you don't have those principles in place and you're not organizing your personal life, you want to tap into what we have to offer at that the Gathering conference. Now, when you look at the Faith Stir, and what we have going on currently is the Get Your Fight Back conference. And so we always look at around this time of the year, students are going back to school, and most churches have a revival, right? It's a youth revival. We want to get our youth pumped up so that they can get their head in the game. Y'all, we are well past month 6. I mean, we are going to month 8, right?
Yeah.
So we're pretty much at the end of the year, whether you want to believe so or not. And just like we want to pump our students up to get their head in the game, it's time that we pump our moms up, our business owners that are women, that are giving, that are having to send their kids back off to school. Where's their revival? Yes. We always have these women revival. Where's the women revival to send their kids back off to school? And so that is what this Get Your Fight Back conference is all about. It's for the busy woman, the working mom, the single mom, the married mom that just has all this stuff weighing down on her. And she feels like, Lord, am I going to make it through the rest of this year? Yes, ma'am, you are. You are. We have a phenomenal lineup of 3 powerful women, powerhouses that are coming in, and they're going to wreck the place. And what I love about this, Billy, is that you don't even have to leave your house.
What?
It's virtual. So you can come. Do people still wear rollers? I don't. You can come with rollers in your head. You can come with your bonnet on. I know y'all still wear bonnets. We be seeing some of y'all at the school. You can come with your bonnet on. You can come in your PJ. You can come as comfortable as you want. No one has to see you cry. If you need to cry, cry. If you want to yell, yell. Whatever it is that you need to do while you are witnessing and experiencing the power that is going to be released at that conference, you can do it in the comfort of your own home.
Ooh. Now I'm not gonna we're not gonna go too fast. We're not gonna go too fast. Before we even go any further, can you tell all the wonderful women out there that's ready to get it back by the neck? Because like I say, time to get your get back. How can they, when is it, and how can they register for it?
August 23rd through the 25th. August 23rd through the 25th. That's when you will be able to attend. It will be by way of Zoom. It's on Eventbrite. You can go once again to our webpage, The Faith Stir. It will redirect you right to where you need to be. If you're somebody that's saying, you know what, I'm on a budget, fine. Use promo code SPEAKER. SPEAKER. Use promo code SPEAKER, and it's going to get you there at a nice price. And what's crazy about when you use the SPEAKER promo code, right? You also get a faith box. Ooh. And I promise you that box is probably going to be worth more than what you spent for that ticket. Ooh. You are going to get this box is going to help. One thing I've always done at conferences is I take notes. And then sometimes I take the notebook that I put the notes in, throw it off to the side somewhere. Yep. There's no guide beyond the conference. Yep. It's just the notes. So in this faith box, I have strategically written a 21-day challenge for the post portion of the conference. Ooh. So even though you can't take these 3 women back home with you, you can't take them back on your job, you cannot take them wherever it is that you need to go in life, you will have something that helps you to start putting into practice what they've spoken on. And it goes beyond what they've spoken on and giving you some actual other ways to just meditate daily to really get it engrafted in yourself, because you still need the support beyond the conference. So many people go to conferences. Yep. They spend their money on conferences and then they go back to life as usual.
Yep.
Because they did not have the support system post-conference. And I'm a strong and firm believer. If you're going to go somewhere and spend your money for it, you need something that's going to help guide you after you've had the experience.
Wow. So I don't, because you know me, I'm going to do it every time. Yeah. I'm sitting over and I hear this, and this is amazing. Mm-hmm. I love it. But you said one thing that jumped out at me, because we talked about budget, and if I'm sitting there and I'm playing devil's advocate again.
Yeah.
With that promo code, and I'm like, man, I might be doing this and I want to jump, but money's tight, especially going back to school. Mm-hmm. One, how much would I be? Because you know, people, we got to hear numbers up front. I know I'm like that. I got to budget everything. What would that number be up front with that promo code? And 2, now I'm gonna let you answer that first. I'm not gonna.
Hey, you're gonna spend $30.
That's it, $30.
Because the original ticketed price was not $30. So you're spending $30. You're going to get the Women Entrepreneur Prayer Book that we just talked about, which you asked, how can I get this book? You can get the book, the 21-day challenge, the conference t-shirt, some extra faith building components within that box, as well as these 3 women for those 3 days. You get the recording. We're recording this. So you're getting the recording. You can go back, hit stop, hit play, hit stop, hit play, however you want to do this, as well as you will have an opportunity to have a one-on-one moment with me beyond the conference to kind of talk about what you got from the conference and what you feel like you need to put into play. And that's for free.
Wow.
So I don't know. I mean, I feel like we throwing in the whole kitchen sink here.
Man, you are throwing in the whole kitchen sink, and me being the person I am, just gonna put it out there. I don't know if they're gonna contact you or what. You can send them this way, or you can get it from me, however you want to do it. But on behalf of my family, and when I say my family, my wife, my kids, the Strategic Dope family, we would like to sponsor one woman.
Okay.
So you let me know who that is, or we want to talk to them, because I want to tell them, hey, good luck, stick with the 21-day challenge and everything. You find out who it is, or the first person that hit me up in the comments, however we do it, we'll figure it out. We want to sponsor, because, hey, this channel is all about helping people develop on purpose every day. That's the whole point of it. And I know there's somebody out there that needs these wonderful, amazing women, especially these 3 powerhouses. So we want to do our part and help at least one person. I don't care who it is, because my vision is, as long as you change one person, it starts the ripple effect. Because that mother out there that's going to get help is going to change that family's life, and it's going to change the next one. We got to start a ripple effect. So yes, we would like to sponsor one woman getting to that conference and sitting there. I don't care if she show up in a rollers all bunted. I don't care. Cry it out, shout it out, pray it out, whatever you got to do. But we want you to get there.
I love it. I love it, Billy.
Now, Now that second part of that is because I'm playing devil's advocate again. We got so many, and this is not you, but we know so many people out there in the world today, social media, they're using stuff and like, take my course, come to my conference, and you're like, can I trust you? Do I know who you are? Because we, like you said earlier, they don't know who we are.
Right.
So you say it's a 21-day challenge after that.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give us a snippet? I'm not telling you to release it all. Can you give us, pick a day? I don't care. It could be day 1, 15, or 21. Give us a snippet of a day of what you going to do with these amazing women that keeps other women motivated one of those days in the 21-day challenge.
So day 1, I jump right into the action, right? So everything that I do with the Faith Stir is very much so faith-based. And when I say faith-based, I mean based off of the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Okay.
So everything that I implement, whether it's to help a woman with business coaching, with personal development, we're going to always go back to scripture, because I feel like if you want to win at life, just look at what's in the book. It's going to help you. You just got to tap into it. So day 1 jumps in immediately with the woman at the well. And we're talking about how she was avoiding going to the well to get what she needed because she did not want to hear people talking about her business.
Okay.
She had been married to 5 folk. Then apparently she had somebody else she was with, because Jesus pointed all of that stuff out in the conversation. And so this woman decided to go at noon at a time that is not, I don't know what y'all temperature looking like where you live in. Baby, the last thing I'm doing is walking out my house at noon to go get anything, okay? We going early morning, as the sun go down.
Yeah.
We ain't going nowhere while it's at its highest. And so she goes to this well to get the water. And on her way going there, dog on it, Billy's sitting at the well. Why is Billy at this well? I was supposed to be going to draw this water in peace. And instead, what happens is she taps into a conversation that changes her life. The conversation is very reflective. It's non-judgmental. One of the problems why we are so afraid to be transparent with people is because when we tell them what's going on in our lives, we feel like they're going to judge us. They're going to go back and talk about what we've said to somebody else. This book is between you and God and whomever else you want to share your information with. If it's me, I promise you, I know, Billy, you say you going to the grave empty. I'm going to the grave full. There are so many things that people have told me, and I have got to keep it to myself. I can't share it. So It's going to the grave with me. So that's the thing about this 21-day challenge. It gives you an opportunity to see people who were facing things, that were trying to maybe avoid some things or not feeling like they had people that were with them. Another one we'll talk about is Abraham having to separate from Lot. Sometimes we're afraid to leave our family.
Yep.
And God told him, hey, if you just pick where you gonna go, let him go where he going, I'm gonna bless you. Some of us can't even be blessed because we holding on to stuff God didn't ask us to let go of.
Ooh.
So these are conversations that we're having in the 21-day challenge. And it's not encouraging you to do these things. It's leading you in self-reflection, because you're going to talk yourself into the answer. I'm not always here to give you the answer. No. Most of the answers are already inside of us. If I give you the answer, you're going to be committed to what I'm telling you to do. But if you give yourself the answer, you're going to be committed to you, because you truly want to see you get better.
I'm not letting these nuggets go by that you just dropped. Now, you talked about how when people come to conferences, whether it's 1 day, 2 day, 3 days, and then they leave and they go about their business, the reason that happens, and that's why I want to talk about this, because you go to that conference and you just get the motivation that they give you and you leave. And I want you to understand why that's an issue, because I talk about this all the time. We listen to so many people, and everything we listen to sounds great, and it motivates us at the time being. But you need those people in your life that inspire you. You need the inspiration, because I want you to understand the difference. Motivation gets you going for right then. That inspiration lights that fire inside of you that you can keep going when you're well on your way. And what Shaundra and them are doing is they're inspiring you. You heard what she just said. You can't get the blessing because you're still holding on. I want you to think about that real deeply. You can't become the person that you're supposed to be because you're still holding on to the person that you used to be. And what Shaundra and her wonderful group of women are trying to do, they're trying to help you let go of who you used to be so that you can see who you're supposed to be, who God means for you to be, going in the walk that God has for you, the purpose, the destiny that has for you. And I love that so much of what you're doing, because that is just amazing. Because I know now I can't even play devil's advocate, because right now I want to go find other people like, hey, you want to go to a conference? I know somebody that's doing something. You want to sign up? Let me help you out. You need an extra 15 here. We can get you an extra. You need only 5. We got 5. But I'm inspired and I ain't even going to the conference. But best believe I might send somebody so they can come back and give me some of the knowledge that they gained by going to the conference, because that is amazing. Now, I have to ask this question because there's somebody out there. Because I was you. I know people that were like you. I know women that need people like you. If they're sitting there, not even thinking about the conference, they're just at the point now where they're bouncing back and forth between jumping and not jumping, what would be that inspiration that you would give them to help light that fire in them to let them know it's time to jump?
I think I'm really big on reflection, Billy. I really am. I think it's very powerful. I think it's in those quiet moments when you sit back and think. That's when you can begin to talk yourself into the solutions.
Yep.
And so for me, my question would first of all be, what are you bouncing back and forth between? Kind of look at what the pros and cons are between both of those items that are tugging at you. What are the benefits if you were to stay at item A? What are the benefits? What are the cons? And the same thing for item B. However, if you find yourself always bouncing between, I don't want to do this, I don't know if I want to do that, you're living in fear.
Ooh.
You are truly living in fear. You are afraid that if I make a decision, I'm going to succeed. If I make the decision, I'm going to fail. I'm here to tell you, life is about failure, unfortunately. And that's how you get your way to success. A lot of times, what people want, especially when you're spiritual, you want God to make a decision for you. He's not going to do that. You think that you connect to people that are very well versed. They understand strategy. That's why a lot of people glean to people that are prophetic, because people that are prophetic can see beyond what you may be able to see. And we attach ourselves to them because we feel like they're going to give us the final anecdote that we need to bring us out of a situation. At the end of the day, the choice always has to rest on you. You have to be tired of going in circles. You got to be tired of expending all of your energy. You have to be tired of just getting the same results. And when you are finally fed up, you go do like homegirl with the issue of blood. Let me go see a man.
Yeah.
Let me go see this man that's in town. And you're going to get to who you feel like. It doesn't have to be me. You need to get to someone that can help you figure out, why am I between the two? What am I so afraid of? And how can I release this fear so that I can impregnate myself with this possibility, begin to get the strategies that are needed to help me carry this baby, and not somebody that's going to leave you midway while you're pregnant. You want somebody that's going to help you to push, not only push it out, but push it to full-term growth beyond. It's more to life than just having babies. You got to see them off till they're 18. And then God, they go to college. Then now you got to make sure you're still nurturing and caring for them. So what you have is bigger than you. And once you birth it out, you already know. You already know.
I don't know if everybody caught that, but I'm going to let you know right now. I asked that question one way, but I didn't even know it. But Shaundra just basically told you need her as your life coach. She just gave a snippet off of one question. That one question was, matter of fact, that was your give me question. You don't even need to ask Shaundra the question. Just go back and listen to the question. She gave you the answer, and now it's going to propel you to make sure you contact her so that you can continue to question number 2 to help change your life with a little bit of the face stir. So if somebody wanted to contact you before we go any further, so that they could get that life coaching from you, so that you can help stir that faith and help that next young lady or an older young lady, as you stated earlier, get to that next step in their life, how would they contact you?
Everything is by way of the face stir. So if you just type in thefacestir.com, you'll get everything that you need. You'll get the contact information. If you just want to go ahead and type a quick email, you can go to thefacestir@gmail. That's the quickest thing that I think you will remember. So let's go with that one. So just go ahead and send the email. I'll get back with you within 24 to 48 hours. If you want to go on the website, go on the website. Don't get bound by what you see on the website. We can go in deeper than what you see. So don't just be like, well, I don't want to just get this. I need more than this. Fine. We can do that. The thing about what I have is I understand how to personalize. I know how to personalize it for the person. So you just have to be transparent with me and tell me where you want to go. And I'm going to be transparent with you and tell you what it's going to take for you to get there.
Don't worry, everybody. I'm going to make sure all of that information is put into the description box. Again, if you haven't already, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, and share Strategic Dope. That's STRATEGIC Dope. But now, as always, and you've been on before, episode 38, in case everybody forgot. I have to ask this question. You said something, and I know you're going to light it up and drop this nugget, but before I even let you go, I have to ask you. We talked about you can't become who you're supposed to be because you're holding on to who you used to be. There's some woman out there that was in your shoes or is in your current shoes, however you want to put it. Tell them what you, as Shaundra right now, would tell Shaundra of old to help you get to where you are right now, because they're in that spot and they're like, how do I get to where she's at? How do I get my life to change? Where do I jump off the boat? Where do I just take the leap of faith? You as Shaundra now, what would you tell that person back then of how you let go so you can become who you are and who you're becoming right now today?
So I'm going to take this approach because I'm a really big news person. So lately I've been seeing how people are writing these messages back to their 12-year-old self or their 20-year-olds. So that's the approach I'm going to take because I think that's going to be most powerful. Because if I could talk to my younger self, it would be to say, stop playing with yourself. Stop playing with who you are. You know you're different. You've always felt like you were different. You've always stood out. And you always thought that you stood out because you didn't have what it took, when in fact you had what it took. And people around you saw it and they were intimidated by it. And they didn't know how to nurture it because they didn't know what was in them. But the moment you find your place, the moment that you open up yourself to connect with others, that is when you're going to find people that know how to cultivate your seed. So your seed won't stay in the ground as you've known it to be, this place of darkness. Eventually the roots sprout up through the ground and you begin to see the sunlight. And that's when you truly live. And it's a happy place here. Stop playing with yourself.
You heard it here first. You already have what it takes, but you got to stop playing with yourself. And the first step, because again, show me your network, I'll show you your network. The first way you do that and stop playing with yourself, because you got what it takes, is you need to get yourself around the right individuals. And the way you need to do that is to get back for 2023. And Shaundra, tell us how they get to that conference, because it's time for them to stop playing with themselves.
Y'all go ahead right now. Go to the Faith Stir, thefacestir.com. Okay. And when you get there, you're going to see a button that allows you to register. It's going to take you right to where you need to be. Use code SPEAKER. If you're that person that's just really on a tight budget, use code SPEAKER. Billy has also said if you want to get there, comment, reach out, and we will get you there by way of Billy. But hey, spots are limited now. Billy said he's sending one person. Spots Don't be procrastinating. Get on in the inbox. Go ahead and send the email.
Yeah.
Go ahead and go register. Do what you need to do, but make sure you are in the room.
You heard it all here first. Don't procrastinate. And as they say, don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. I'm here to tell you, we're here for you. We got your back, but we can only do so much. We can only provide the information. We can only give you the contact, but it takes you to stop playing with yourself and get things going. Shaundra, as always, it's a blessing to have you because I know we're going to have to talk again because I am not done. Because for one, I want to know what's happening after this conference. I want to know how it keeps growing because that's one thing about this show. Like, we see so many people at the top. And everybody be like, yeah, you got there, but tell us how. And they be like, well, I just stayed consistent and buckled down. I woke up at 5 a.m. every morning, worked out. And it's like, okay, we understand that, but what is the stages?
Right.
So the whole purpose of this show, you see us. Like we start and we show you people as they progress. So we know we're going to have you back on. We can't wait to see the blessings that are coming your way. We can't wait to see you shake up the world, shake up everybody's faith, stir it all around and make blessings happen for others. But for the meantime, we thank you for tuning in. I have to say on behalf of everybody and give you your flowers. Thank you for the nuggets you dropped. We appreciate you so much.
Most definitely. It's been great being here. Thank you for having me, Billy.
As always. Now, don't go nowhere because I want to talk to you right after this. But Thank you again. And Shaundra, as always, I'll see you on the other side. Bye. Hey, my thing is frozen. We're stuck right now.
Oh, are we?
Yeah, it's okay. You know me. It's always something. It's just probably one more time for our fans. They just want to hear us say goodbye. And you know what? I know what it is. They say you need one more nugget.
That is not what they said.
I'm sorry. You know me. Things happen in mysterious ways, and this is God's way of saying, Billy Graham Jr., we're not done with Shaundra. So I have to ask you because you talked about a couple of things. We say we're sending the kids back to school. We're getting the mamas back. But before we can do any of that, I need you to give me this one nugget, and I'm finna throw a fastball. You ready?
I'm ready.
For that mother that's out there juggling everything that we've talked about, including getting these kids back, we're sending them to revivals. The women are coming to you. How do the woman get the family ready? Because I'm sorry, we hear so much about the kids, but we don't have, all of us don't have that backing. We talked about of those loved ones and family friends. How do we get our family members around us ready as well?
Ready for them getting their fight back, them getting ready for school. Be more specific.
Getting their fight back.
Okay, we can do that one. How do we get our families ready? I think what's most important is communication. Man, it's hard for people to have conversations, even in their own houses. So I think you have to just really sit down and let people know what the goal is, how to get our family members ready. You gotta sit. That's sorry, y'all. I saw it pop in the chat. It's really sitting down and having conversations, and that is something that is missing right now from the African American household. It's what we're seeing a lot of. A lot of times, everyone on the outside of the house is having conversations with the wife or the single mom or the children, but it's lacking from within the home. So it's truly sitting down and laying out, okay, these are some goals. This is the vision that I see for our household. This is what I would like to see. And no, it's not going to happen overnight, but the first step is writing the vision. So you have to write the vision for your house. Bring the vision, because everybody don't know how to cast vision. So now you got to bring the vision to your family and say, this is where I see us heading. It may not make sense to you right now, but this is what I need for us to do. You have to come up with some action steps, some short-term goals, because your vision going to be the long-term piece. But come up with some short-term goals that's going to allow you to take small steps. Small steps. Sometimes we cast a vision and we think we're going to get there overnight, and then we get discouraged. We get frustrated because we're not seeing immediate results. Whatever you've put into your household, whatever the rituals and routines were, I'm certain it didn't happen overnight. It was a gradual implementation. So it's going to take that same approach to get things to be redirected in your house.
I knew the reason we had to talk about that. Because I want everybody to catch it. You have to take that small steps, and you're talking about the people in your house, and you got the kids, you got the family, you got everything. We all know that some of us take larger steps than others. So if you're taking this long step and you expect your kids to walk in your steps, but they short, they can't take the same steps. If you climbing the ladder to the top, you can't skip the first rung, the second rung, the third rung. You have to go one rung at a time. So as Shaundra said, you have to make the vision, make the small steps to achieve the overall goal. And so many of us overlook that because we try to just jump to the end, and that's not going to work. And again, if you're still needing that, make sure you turn into go to the facestir.com so that you can go and enroll for this conference. Make sure you go to the facestir.com so that way you can meet with Shaundra and make her your life coach so she can continue to drop these nuggets on you to make your life better. Man, see, I told you it was a reason. I think everything happened for a reason. I don't believe it's just a technical glitch. Stuff ain't working. Things happen for a reason, and somebody out there needed to hear that from you. So that's why we are still on. So again, don't go nowhere because I want to talk to you right after. But
okay.
I guess we had to get that process out because even I needed to know about the small steps. Now I might even enroll for the conference myself and put a wig on. You wouldn't know I'm gonna have a bunny on. I'm gonna just be sitting in the back. You wouldn't even know I'm there.
Keep your camera off. Just keep your camera.
But my name gonna be Billy with an IE. You ain't gonna know the difference. Oh Lord! But again, we appreciate you. We thank you, Shaundra. And as always, we'll have you back on soon. But until then, I'll see you on the other side.
Thanks, Billy.
Man, what a blessing. As always, I love watching people come on and give nuggets and drop all the information and get everybody to start thinking about their life, looking from within and how they can become better. And man, the nuggets that Shaundra gave us is amazing. So again, make sure you go to the facestir.com. I will make sure all the information is inside of the description. If you haven't already done it, make sure you like, subscribe, and share Strategic Dope. And we're going to continue to bring you more and more guests. And make sure you like, share, and subscribe because there will be more stuff coming to this channel to make you have a better life because we want you to strategically develop on purpose every day. But in the meantime, I thank everybody for tuning in. Make sure you tune in next week, same time, every Thursday, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, where we bring you more guests that are going to help you live in your purpose. But until then, make sure you live in your purpose, with purpose, on purpose. I still love y'all, and I'll see y'all next week.
I'm back.
Every time I walk out that door, every time I interact with anybody new, my purpose is to help change.
It's time to celebrate life. If you know that you're in charge of your life, it's time to stand up. If you know you want better for your life, it's time to stand up. If you know that you have what it takes to be in charge of your life, it's time to stand up. If you know that you are not just trying to be good for you, but for those around you, it's time to stand up. As a matter of fact, look to the person to your left and tell them you are enough.
I want to help you change, and just like you change, every time I interact with somebody, they help me change. It's no different than if I met an individual and they had 4 quarters and they needed change, or if I had $1 and they had 4 quarters, I need to change. We can swap the money. The value is still the same. They still got $1, I still got $1, but we both exchange something, and it was a change for both of us. So every time I walk out that door, I inspire to help change lives just as much as lives have changed me.
Y'all been listening to the wrong people, watching the wrong things all your life, and it's time to put to rest all those negative thoughts because you are enough. It's time to put to rest that self-doubt because you are enough. It is time to get rid of that negative energy because you are enough. It is time to stop listening to people that don't have the best interests of you in your life because you are enough. So let's have a moment of silence. I want everybody to understand that you are the person that's in charge of your life. Everything that you have inside of you to be who you're supposed to be in life. You have a destiny, and that destiny can only be accomplished through you, by you, and only you with the help of God. When you realize that you are the person you are, because you're not a carbon copy, there's only one you. They try to put you in a box. Society tries to put you in a box, but you can't be in a box. How can you be in a box when there's only one you? But then they tell you, think outside the box. What I'm trying to get you to understand is there is no box.
I want to pass on the things that I have to the generations behind me. By the time it's time for me to get called home and go to the grave, I want to be empty. I believe in bankrupting the cemetery, so I can't take this knowledge with me because the cemetery is already full of brilliant ideas and unwritten books and innovative ideas. I can't take this with me, so I'm trying to leave it all here as Billy Graham Jr. to the next generation so somebody else can carry it on.